David Gilliland won the Toyota All-Star Showdown in 2005, but never got to go to victory lane. While Rex claimed some of the best cars all night, Gilliland was able to stay out front and battle for the win. Mike Olson eventually took the checkered flag, but he was later disqualified for using illegal wheels. Gilliland got the credit for the win, but none of the glory. The glory did come to Gilliland the next year when he won at Kentucky in the Nationwide Series. And now he's down trackside with Jim Trado.
And Rick, David knows how important this race is for West Coast racers that want to get a shot, and he did just that in 2005 with that victory. That was the last time here at the Showdown. You walked away with a big trophy, David. What drew you back here tonight?
You know, just coming back here, we got a lot of friends and family out here, and this is the racetrack I cut my teeth on, you know, in the asphalt. Got my first asphalt win here at Toyota Speedway, and just it's great to come back out here. I thank Darrell Wong and Image Motorsports and Quicksilver for coming on board this weekend and giving me the opportunity to come out here and hopefully try and win another one.
Last night you were pretty racing a late model you helped prepare and drag out here from your shops in Mooresville. This is a fairly new car for you. What do you think about starting 7th and your chances to take on the hardware again? I feel really good. You know, this car was prepared by Junior Joyner at Joyner Motorsports, and they've done a great job. The car drove really well. A little free in qualifying, but with the impound procedures, it's what we need to be. So real excited. Feel really good about our chances last night. We finished second last night by a couple feet, and looking to improve on that a little bit tonight. Let's check in with another hot shoe with Dick Berggren.
And that would be Greg Pursley. This is his home track. He won so many races here in 2004. It brought him a national championship. What will it take to win this race tonight, Greg?
Patience, patience, patience. You got to be there lap 200 to bring home the last 25 laps, and you got to watch this race because it's going to be wild. It's going to be 4 wide every corner here, the first half of this race. And
we've got a full moon as well. He starts in 3rd. Rick?
Thank you, Dick. Drivers still waiting to get into their race cars. The anticipation is building for the green flag. '2007 pole sitter Sean Case had led all 74 laps when he was wrecked by the lap car of Moses Smith. Smith later cut a tire, causing a bad wreck with the foam barrier. Luckily, he would be okay. Cut tires were also a problem for defending race winner Matt Kovaluk and early race leader Brian Eichler. Both drivers were able to fight their way back and finish in the top 10. Continuing with a record-setting season, 17-year-old Joey Logano took the checkered flag to become the youngest winner of the Toyota All-Star Showdown. Welcome back to Irwindale, California. It's the 7th annual Toyota All-Star Showdown about to get underway. The drivers have strapped into their race cars, and we're waiting for the command to get the engines fired. Before that, let's go trackside to Dick Berggren.
It's such an interesting field here on the pole. We've got a 17-year-old kid who's never raced here before, never raced these kinds of cars. Outside of him, a 19-year-old who has been here before, who has won here before. Behind them, a track champion and also a series champion, and a lot of people who have far more experience at either this racetrack or with these kinds of cars than the 2 guys who are starting on the pole. And did I mention that there's a full moon tonight? Fasten your seatbelt. We're at Irwindale.
And Dick, think about this. These 40 cars here, at least some of them have won championships multiple times. Maybe starting in Legends cars on through to now we know Sprint Cup drivers want to come back and play. They want to win this trophy. But to do that, they've got to survive 225 laps. The breakout segments are going to be critical. From lap 101 to lap 125, we may see the hand played by a number of the front runners to see what their car can do for those 25 laps, because that's all they'll have left after the lap 200 break. They all want to prepare and survive to that point to get a shot at the trophy.
Thanks, Jim. We'll be riding along with a few different drivers tonight, one of those being the number 17 of David Mayhew. He'll start 24th in his MMI Ron's Rear End Chevrolet.
We're also going to ride along with our 2009 Rookie of the Year in the West Series, Paul Hiraka. He will start his Napa Filters Toyota from the 16th position.
Eric Holmes, series champion on the East a few times. He will start in the 4th position in his Napa Autoport Toyota, and he'll also carry a camera for us. West Series champion. So the drivers are strapped in. That means that the next thing on the list would be to get the engines fired up. And to do that, we've got a very special guest giving us the command. We go trackside for that.
And our Grand Marshal for tonight's event, he's played the character Rowdy Burns in the movie Days of Thunder. You know him, actor Michael Rooker, with the most famous words in all of motorsports. Drivers, start your engines.
Race cars come to life. When I hear his voice, I always think, oh, you got to run the race for me to keep my sponsor. We'll be back. And welcome back to Irwindale, California. Continuing tomorrow, America's premier endurance race is on speed. It's a grueling test of grit, teamwork, and pure racing skill. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series 24 Hours of Daytona. Live coverage continues tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern.
Bit of a NASCAR flavor in the 24-hour race this year.
Yeah, I believe a Ganassi team right now is up front, and Juan Pablo Montoya, I think, is behind the wheel of that car.
And Jamie McMurray is also on that team.
Dario Franchitti and Dixon round out the four. Cars just beginning to roll around the racetrack. This half mile, as you mentioned, progressive banked racetrack from 6 degrees at the bottom, 12 degrees up near the wall. That's where we saw the preferred line last night. But we also saw guys test the waters down a little bit lower.
Oh, they run all over this racetrack. They'll run below the white line you see right there. You have to go down there if you're going to pass somebody. It's going to be very difficult to work to the outside of somebody. You're going to have to go down there if you're going to try to get by him, and that's what these guys are going to do. Some guys will work and practice on trying to make their car handle on the bottom of the racetrack.
Now, we saw a year ago, Joey Logano decided he was going to go to the bottom to try to make the pass and ended up slamming into the car that was leading, and then he went to, well, he didn't go to victory lane, but he crossed the stripe first. They said no. What is aggressive driving at a racetrack like this when you're trying to do a slide move?
Well, that was aggressive driving, and you know, at that point, it's the last corner of the last lap of the race, and if he can get Peyton Sellers to get out of the throttle and give him some room, then he's going to win the race. I don't think Joey would have made it without hitting the wall, even if Peyton hadn't been there. He drove in the corner so hard, but he was going for the win. NASCAR didn't like it. They slapped his hand and put him to the back and gave Matt Kobluk his second win.
One guy who's got to be a favorite in this race would be Jason Bowles. He's been to victory lane a few times at this racetrack, hasn't he, Dick?
He sure has, 3 times recently. He drives car number 6, and in 2009, he won the Western component of the championship in the K&N Series. But tonight is his last night, not only in this car, but potentially in the series as well. He and his fiancée have moved to the eastern seaboard, where they have taken up residence in Charlotte, North Carolina, in hopes that Bowles can make the step up the ladder to NASCAR's higher level division. So tonight, as the last night in his race car, he's got nothing to lose. It'll be pedal right flat on the floor all night long for Jason Bowles in the 6 car.
And Jason Bowles will have company in terms of what the future may hold in higher divisions in NASCAR. NASCAR Nationwide Series, there's Matt DiBenedetto's home next year. 10 races starting in Nashville. Tonight, he pilots the car that has 1, 2, or at least crossed the stripe first, and 2 Toyota All-Star Showdowns here with Joey Logano behind the wheel. This is the magical chassis 132. This young 18-year-old may not be back in this series as well. He won twice this year, including at Loudon, in this race car. So did Kyle Busch, and so did Joey. These guys raced this car. Joey wanted this car, but Matt begged hard enough. He's in this car, in the East car that he won with to lock himself in. He wants to bring that car home for a big victory. He said he begged hard, and it may pay off with Mike Sibley on the box and the veteran crew that Joe Gibbs has assembled for him.
I'll tell you one guy, Rick, I want to keep my eye on is Sean Case right there. Sean qualified in the 5th position. He came oh so close to winning here. Remember, he got taken out, but he also had a 2nd place finish here. Sean Case did a great job winning an ARCA race last year at Rockingham. Very, very talented. Full season in this Teddy Marsh Whelen Engineering car. Look forward to him to have a good night tonight.
Now, he's got a couple teammates that'll be on the racetrack, but you really, this isn't a teammate sport, especially when you go to an all-star showdown.
In a short track, a half mile like this, relatively flat now. No teammates here.
One of his teammates is Steve Parks, also victorious from a year ago. That locked him into one of the starting spots. There were 12 drivers that were automatically qualified to run this race because of wins or series champions from a year ago. And through qualifying yesterday, we have filled out the 40-car field. Let's go back to Dick Berggren.
Car 00 Ryan Truex, the champion in the East Series in 2009. He was going to start in the 9th position, but he had engine problems. They had to pull the motor out of that car and replace it. The rules call for him to move all the way back. So the 17-year-old champion is going to start dead last in the field tonight.